Hey again, YouTube, Nutjob with a Machete back with another review for you. And I'm cheating. I've got my iPod here with this thing's Amazon webpage up because this thing's pretty cool, but it's got a weird name. And this is the Masalong High-end Unicorn Claw Knife Finger Shaking D2 Steel Fixed Blade Knife. Yeah, it's a mouthful. But it's actually kind of suitable that a knife like this got a long ass name. So, but I do love Masalong's names. Anyways, Masalong was nice enough to send me this for a testing and review. It was actually a factory second, but I can't honestly find anything wrong with it. So if this is a factory second, then awesome possum. It might have been that the box they sent it to me in was a factory second, because it was a little difficult to open. Sometimes when you order from Masalong, what you get is those little boxes, and the knife just sits right inside. Usually you get a paracord bracelet with it. I did this time too, but the box was actually made of wood, and it's about that big. I'll see if I can find it. Unfortunately, my fiance and I are organizing the house, and I don't know where it went. I do know where the paracord bracelet went. Nikki stole it. It's actually fairly similar to the one I'm wearing now. It has a whistle clamp and paracord, but yeah, it's an added little bonus, and the box is actually kind of cool. Enough about the box. You want to see this thing. So I'll step out of the light from the window and show it to you close. Kind of makes sense that it has a funky name, right? Because it's kind of a funky little setup. One thing to note, this knife, the sheath, does not have a pocket clip. So I've gone ahead and stuck a Night Eyes Eclipse on here. And it works, but I think I'm probably going to do a Kydex sheath for this. But as you purchase it, it gets a nice, thick, double-stitched leather sheath. I think it's actually vegetable tanned leather, single snap retention, and actually holds the knife in place really well. So that's one thing. That's just the sheath. You do have to find a way to either clip it to your belt or carry it or make your own sheath. Like I said, try the Night Eyes. I might actually replace this and rivet in if I can get in there, because it's very strong leather. A proper pocket clip. But this isn't about the sheath. No. It's about the unicorn claw. I am not calling it that. It's a very unique name for a fairly unique knife. Now, it's a karambit, of course. The other karambit was the boar claw that you saw. And you saw how tough that thing was. And I was smacking it on coconuts and, of course, did the meat test and all of that stuff. Well, this unicorn claw. Do unicorns have claws? Anyways, this thing is a bit different. Note the nasty ass serrations on the back. Yes, okay. I showed this to Mander, and his first words were gaudy. And I can understand why he thinks that. I actually don't mind fanciful designs if I can find a way to make them functional. And this one, I actually did. Now, come back to the blade in a sec. Let's talk about the rest of it. You can see kind of... Excuse me a second. That was fun. That was a credit card scam. Fuck them. Anyways, wouldn't it be hilarious if people who called you for scams like that knew what you were doing when they called? I know a guy who was reloading a bunch of his brass, and that's when he got the call. So anyways, back to the review. This thing, hammered finish, kind of looks cool on it. It looks like it was kind of a machined hammered finish, though. Like, not actually hammered. But still looks cool. Now, you can see the runes here. Fury. F-U-R-Y. That's Fury. So, rather than the unicorn claw, I'm calling it Fury. Handle scales are actually pretty cool. They're a micarta style, and they're brass riveted in place. And it's actually, you can see, full tang, of course, comes out there. They're actually quite comfortable. The steel's slightly rounded over, and this almost, kind of like a dragon scale, I guess, kind of reminds me of tank treads, truthfully. But it's actually quite comfortable when you have the knife locked in your hand. So, how good is it? Well, solid steel ring, which is really nice. It actually has kind of an etched tread pattern here and almost jimping for your thumb up there. They're aggressive. They're both quite aggressive. So when you do flips, or if you need to extend, it's easy to get a proper grip, but you will feel the steel a little bit. So I do recommend just filing this down a little bit. Make it more comfortable on your hands. Sorry, the furnace is about to kick in, so just a heads up if it gets loud. Anyways, back to the blade. So you can see here, hand's actually protected rather nicely here. And then this nice deep belly. Like I said, on the boar claw, having a 90 on it is really nice, but sometimes I don't feel I actually need that on my karambits, and this is one of the ones that kind of comes across like that. So this edge is actually pretty sharp. Haven't touched it up. Came really sharp, obviously. And, well, you know what? You probably want a meat test, so why don't we go do that? And I'll be right back. Masalong. Shiny now. Well, as you can see, this actually does a lot of damage. Now, unlike the boar test, that meat was frozen. And this dug into it and did an insane amount of damage. And obviously, if you're using it, it will probably similarly replicate that damage. The hooked blade design, as Skal demonstrated when he was doing the cutting sleeves test, tears and usually gets through clothes and all that stuff fairly easily. But what you also saw was me try and use the serrations on the back edge, because they're actually, now they're not sharp here, but they are pointy as hell on each one of these tips, and they tore into that meat really well just on the back. And ow, like that's all I can think of. I mean, you remember the Shasta McNasty with its actual double-edged karambit design where you could do forward slashes, back slashes. I chopped through meat. This would definitely be very painful if you used it on a person. Down, tear, ow. Yeah, that's really all I want to think about that for right now. But yeah, so that is actually something that scared me, for one thing, especially when I first pulled it out and I caught my finger on this one, which is just tiny and nasty. Yeah, something to watch out for, both for yourself and if you had to use it. Now, some of you guys might notice it's almost like a keyhole slot. Little known fact, sorry, my paleontology background's going to come out. Little known fact, the serrations on a T-Rex's tooth was actually very similar to this. Rather than just being straight up and down serrations, they had like a little void at the bottom. It actually makes it stronger. So when this, this catches something, it's not likely to shear off like a regular up and down would. This actually spreads out the force a little bit more. So if you're worried about these breaking off, so long as you don't hit something hard like metal, they probably won't. especially given that this is made of D2 steel. They gave me a Rockwell hardness of 59 to 60. You know what? I'm going to read you guys the specs because I still have the Amazon page open on my iPod. So they give the length as, full length by the way, as 7.7 inches. Everything's in centimeters, so we'll read the inches part. The blade is 4.2, the handle is 4.1. Obviously the 7.7 is from there to there. Yeah, half centimeter thick, so 5 millimeters thick, so 1/5 of an inch, 0.20 of an inch thick. Yeah, that's kind of disturbing, truthfully. It's a 1/20 of an inch thick, made of D2. Its hardness is insane. I mean, 59 to 60 is not too hard. If you get too hard, you get brittle, especially if you haven't tempered it correctly. Thanks, Chris, for letting me know that. But it's scary, actually. I mean, honestly, you saw what it did with the meat, and if it has to go, if you have to use it in a self-defense scenario, this is going to do the trick. Obviously, I do my best not to advocate violence. I'm a sheepdog. Like I said to one of the guys who was on the Masalong review, I'm a sheepdog. I don't particularly care to... I don't want to be violent, but if I have to, I won't shy away from it. Shit like this lets me not shy away from it quite effectively, actually. Now, the original purchase price on Amazon.ca was $149 and $5.54 shipping. I always love that part. But like I said, Masalong was wonderful enough to send this to me for a review. Now, for those of you who literally just said, well, he just got bought out for a review. Fuck no, man. I am really easy to disappoint with stuff. So you might have seen the SCH Bolo review, and if you hadn't, go to my reviews. I was disappointed with the SCH Bolo. And honestly, I don't have it anymore. I sent it back. I didn't like it, so I got rid of it. If I didn't like this, I would say I didn't like it in the review, and it'd be free, so I wouldn't care about it. I'd probably either put it up on the shelf, give it away, or, you know, be evil and sell it, or something like that. But this, they didn't purchase the nice review because, fuck me, the knife did that for itself. Insane, insane, insane little claw. I'm starting to ramble, aren't I? So, you know what? Why don't I just show you how sharp it is? Flyers. You know, I imagine that little crazy laugh I do probably scares some people, weirds them out. Ooh, I'm actually cutting deep into a little part of it. But whatever. There's a reason why it's called nut job with machete. You can see. Now, oh, let's do these. Because I'm crazy. Tears. Hungry, hungry hippie trail mix. That just sounds like a weird thing. I honestly can't say it any better than that. That's a great visual for that. Yeah, tearing. But yeah, anyways, there's not really anything I can add to Fury's review. I'm not calling it the Unicorn Claw. But once again, the full name of this Masalong product is... I'm sorry, it's just such a funny name, I gotta say it. The Masalong High-end Unicorn Claw Knife Finger-Shaking D2 Steel Fixed Blade Knife. Sorry, 140.53, not 148. But yeah, good little knife. It's up to you. Masalong has a lot of products that, like the woodpecker or their little bear claw, which is a very little karambit. They have the chicken. Honestly, if you search Masalong and you search these with them, you'll see what I'm talking about, rather than giving you the full name, because I can't remember half of them. But they have a lot of products that are actually pretty good, and that I'm going to be picking up in the future. But the fact that they were willing to send me this for testing, and this actually turned out to be pretty fucking awesome, is sweet. So, yeah. That's about it. I can't really add anything else to weirdly named but very, very, very good knife. Forgot to point out, there's a little jimping right there for when you hold it this way. I didn't hold it that way until about 30 seconds ago, so I forgot about that. But yeah, thanks so much for watching this review. If you like videos like this, feel free to click like, feel free to subscribe for more videos like this in the future, and hopefully, more insane products from Masalong. And as always, feel free to share this product as much as you want. And until next time, guys, I'm Nutjob with a machete, with the light cutting right across me, holding an insane karambit. Stay sharp. Randomly, how well does that tip hold up? Frozen chunk of wood I didn't use for the Kilimanjaro test. Yeah, stuck in there really, really nicely. Hey, cool. The tip's perfectly fine. Let's do that again. Don't think I'm on camera. Sorry, guys. Holy shit. Don't know if you can see that, but I actually split the wood there. Perfectly fine. So yeah, see you guys.